everyone, this is John, your host on the Prepared Mind channel. Welcome back. This is going to be one of those videos. I've had a strange day and a strange week, so you could call this discussion a little bit morbid, maybe, macabre. It's a little different, but I think it's important to discuss. And really what brought it up today was the behavior over the last couple of days of Democrats in the Senate. You know, it's kind of a tales from the crypt stupidity that's going on out there. You know, and I just kept thinking about all the oddities, the weirdness, the strangeness, that people will be doing unexpected things when shit hits the fan. Totally unexpected. So, you know, even though I don't expect high amounts of IQ, big intelligent thoughts out of the Democrats, I really was surprised at the level of craziness that the Democrats have demonstrated in the Kavanaugh hearing so far, right? And if you go back to the 80s, you've got Judge Bork. He was borked. In fact, an entire new word was added to our vocabulary. And pardon the wind, it is a bit gusty today. But Bork, right? He got totally borked by the Senate. Well, it looks like they're trying something similar, you know, with Judge Kavanaugh. So the question I have to ask is, why are the Democrats losing their shit over this? Why are they so surprised? I mean, literally, should they be surprised by this? Like, did they think that Trump was going to nominate a fucking Democrat or a communist? It's just, it's outstandingly crazy. And the question I want to ask is, well, are all Democrats this fucking crazy? Are they all this stupid? Are they all literally insane and they just been hiding it from us, pretending to be sane? Right? Like the serial killer, where everyone in the neighborhood goes, you know, he seemed like a nice guy. He was kind of quiet, kind of kept to himself, but, you know, we didn't think he was killing people and burying them in the basement. So, are we going to expect to see this and shit hits the fan? I'm just going to say, yeah. Man, get ready for it. Expect it. Expect the craziest, insanest things. You know, because it really is human nature. And we shouldn't be shocked by it. Now, I do like to point out to myself all the time, you know, they're just acting like that. This is anybody over anything in any situation. And I go, you know what, it's not life-threatening, and they're just acting that way because, right, it's not real. But as soon as it gets real, people will figure it out so fast. But I don't think that's true. I think those among us who are really insane, they hide it. They keep it from us. And it's only when they're exposed, right? Only when they're threatened and in danger that their insanity just rushes out, right? Like that crazy broad at the hearing. She really is crazy, but she's a senator. And they're going to be there. They're going to be out in the open for all to see when shit hits the fan, losing their shit. But for now, they're going to keep their sanity or insanity hidden. You know, and it's just, to me, you know, people are going to do unexpected things. I used to expect the best from people. Now I'm expecting the worst. I'm not hoping for the worst, but I'm expecting the worst. You know, and some other types of behavior that have just bothered the shit out of me lately are these murder-suicides, where a husband kills his wife and his kids. We've had quite a bit of that lately, it seems, or at least the reporting is up on it. and husbands being killed by their wives, right? It's like they've lost their fucking minds. But in a lot of places, they feel hopelessly depressed, right? They're upset about a scenario or situation, and so they do these murder-suicides. And oftentimes they leave notes to explain things, right? Right now, it's supposed to be the greatest world ever. And I'll tell you, we have all the appliances, all the creature comforts, right? The economy is supposed to be great. If you have psychological problems, not only can you get a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but you can also get lots of drugs, right? There's no reason for all this stuff, yet it's starting to feel common. Is it common for people to kill their spouses, kill their kids? I remember one of the first ones that I really woke up and paid attention was that screwy broad down in Texas that drowned her kids in the bathtub. Shocking. But people are going to do and continue to do the unexpected things that we see today when shit hits the fan. You know, when shit does hit the fan, and it seems, I mean, it's not hopeless now, but people think it's hopeless. When it really is hopeless, what the fuck? Are there going to be lots of murder-suicides where parents kill their kids and then kill themselves or kill each other? In an effort to what? Save themselves the misery of what's coming? Well, I'm sure that's going to be common. And I did warn you guys, this is going to be a bit fucking morbid, right? But this is what I expect to see. I expect to see people actually look upon this sympathetically, right? But the question I ask you is, will it be sympathetically viewed? Or will people be disgusted, right? Hey, you weren't dead yet. You weren't starving all the way yet. Things just looked real bad and you had to go kill everybody? Right? I don't expect to see this stuff from preppers because you're prepping. You should have food and water and shelter and clothing and a way to defend yourself. If you don't have a group, I'm going to address that in this video. So don't lose heart. These murder-suicides are horrifying. And I really do expect them to be a big part of shit it's the fan life. Terrible. Expect the unexpected is the lesson. Just like I said, hey, these Democrats are losing their shit now. They should have known what's going on. Why are they acting surprised? Why are we acting surprised that they're acting surprised? Right? They're fucking idiots. I expect it from them. But still, it can be shocking, right? Because the apparent loss of sanity and all mental faculty is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, no shit hits the fan video on the unexpected things that are going to happen would be complete, would make any sense, unless, right, you have to mention religion. Religion is the justification for all manner of crimes against individuals, ethnic groups, everybody. Nobody is exempt from religious weirdocracy, right? Whether we're talking about, usually it's, Satan. They see Satan in everything. People, when it's time for God to come back, right? Shit has hit the fan. They're looking for Jesus. They're looking for their way out. They're looking for a savior. They're desperate. Remember, they're starving, so they don't have the energy to think right. They're probably going to be sick with dysentery, so their bodies are weak. Probably dehydrated, so they're going to be fucking delirious. And on top of that, throw in religious hysteria and fervor and paranoia, not to mention messianic expectation. And in some of the religious people, and I don't want to pick on all of them, I'm not picking on all of them, not everybody, just those who've got a couple fucking screws loose. Dare I say, especially religious Democrats? Is there any such thing? But the Christians, they're going to be looking for Jesus, right? But some of the more Old Testament thinking people who think they need to take judgment in their hands, they're going to be looking, right? You know, maybe they're going to think that if they start killing the bad people, people they know are bad, even though they don't know it, right? Will Jesus come back quicker? Right? Will that be the solution for their problems? A religious answer? I sure hope not, but don't be surprised, right? Don't think of that as an unexpected event. And it's not just the Christians. You know, I want to talk about Muslims a little bit. Right, I had an interesting phone call with someone who contacted me about Islam. And they have a lot of experience with Islam, and they said, John, it seems like you're off here and there on stuff. What you're talking about, and truly indeed what I am talking about, are people who are fanatics, people who are zealots, who go to an extreme, and they aren't really representative of what the faith truly should have been about or is about. Still, there's no excuse, and you're going to see wacko crazies. Now, in defense of my position, when I talk about, you know, wild, crazy-eyed Muslims out there who want to kill everybody because they don't believe that Muhammad is the sole prophet of God or whatever, is moderate Muslims, they don't stand up to the radicals. Right now, you go to any red-blooded soldier or Marine and mention, right, radical Muslims, and they get their hackles up, right, because they know what that radicalism is about, right? There's only one answer. They only understand the sword because that's what they live by. And by the way, this is a very tasty cigar. I want to thank you guys for supporting my vices. But these Muslims out there, the moderate ones, the soft ones, are they so soft and so moderate, or are they afraid of these radicalized people? The same way moderate, soft, religious Christians are afraid of radical, hardline Christians or Muslims or anyone else. Yeah, people who are soft, weak, incapable of defense, they're not going to go out and defend everybody. They're not going to go out and stop them. So when shit hits the fan, expect radical Christians and crazy Muslims killing, punishing, stealing, all in the name of, right? It's in the name of. If you do it in the name of something else, that makes it okay. And I'm not just picking on religious people in this sense. It's the same for secularists. Well, in the name of government, in the name of the law, in the name of the president, right? In the name of the cardinal. They want to do what they do and then blame someone else because they're doing it in the name of something else. Doesn't make it right. And when examined logically, rationally, it makes no sense. But it's still going to happen. So don't be surprised, right? It's not unexpected that these sorts of things are going to happen. You know, that's been one of my themes lately, right? Is have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Have a plan. Don't get caught off guard. In other words, don't be surprised, right? Don't let these things be unexpected. I was going to say encumbrances, but worse than that, right? The thing that gets you killed, that gets you, your family, your group, your community in trouble. It's going to happen. Rum and Coke just makes shit funny. That's all there is to it. And Arturo can take the edge off. Anyways, in the name of that alone, don't be surprised, right? It is not unexpected that people will assume the mantle of authority if they don't give it to God and say, well, God says, right? Or Allah says. Don't be surprised if other people will take authority and control in the name of things that make absolutely no sense in an effort to justify or give themselves the authority. It's going to happen. People are going to lose their shit. Now this is an absolutely horrifying subject because it has been at the forefront of our social politics for decades now. And it's been at the forefront of social politics for hundreds of years. for thousands of years. It's part of the human condition. And someone told me today that I was quoting a stereotype. Right? I was referring to a stereotypical type of person or behavior, right? And this attempt to tell me that was like pointing out, "Oh, John, you're being kind of prejudicial, right? You're stereotyping." And I was like, but when stereotypes are correct, how can they be wrong, right? For example, if I was at a lake, if I was at a beach, and a boat full of people wearing helmets with horns on them, and it's a wooden vessel, and it's long, and it's low in the water, and it's got a square sail, and they've got swords and beards, and they're literally frothing at the mouth, I'm going to look at them and go, you know what? That's a pack of murderous Viking rapists. Because that's what those guys did. They marauded, they murdered, and they raped. And yeah, they're part of, or I'm part of a heritage that comes from that. But would it be prejudicial if you see something that looks a certain way, that's behaving a certain way, right? Is that prejudice? Still, right? Just examining prejudice itself. Is prejudice going to trump intelligence? And yes, the double entendre was intentional. Right? There's going to be all sorts of prejudices. There's going to be prejudice based on race. Race. Right? That person's black. That guy's white. I don't know what that guy is. Oh yeah, the half and half guy. Right? Well, this guy looks one race, but he says he's another. Can we trust him? Can we like him? Is he useful? Is he smart? Is he dangerous? All of those are prejudices. And they're up here. They're in our fucking heads. Are we going to submit to our prejudice? In other words, is our intelligence going to be trumped by our prejudice? You know, and it's not just, prejudice just isn't race. It's not. Prejudice is on religious grounds. And I covered religion a little bit. But, right, if your religion says to be moral and be good, right, and God will reward you, and you know, that's the way it should be, right? Morals are morals and ethics are ethics. But this person that you're looking at, well, clearly they're Catholic. They've got rosary beads. And you know how bad those Catholics are when it comes to inquisitions. And I'm a Protestant. This is for purposes of discussion. So I see that Catholic, and I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna get revenge on him. I'm gonna go, you know what? I know how they behave in bad times, a la the Inquisition. Right? That's prejudice. Now, if for the last 30 days I've seen rosary bead clad people stealing and murdering other people in shit it's the fan, well then it's no longer prejudice, is it? Right? I've seen that person before, and I know what they say. I've heard those words, I've seen that look, and I've seen the consequences, the results of that. Right? So is that prejudice? So does prejudice become bad? Is there a way to have good prejudice? In shit it's the fan? Can we be prejudiced? We can certainly get away with it until someone else punishes you. Right? So what is prejudice? Well, prejudice is just prejudging something. Prejudging, prejudice. Right? And I used to use a term when I was in high school to fuck with people, because that's just been my nature my whole life. John the head fucker-ucker. Right? I would look at people and go, I'm not prejudiced, I'm post-judice. Right? I've seen enough of hillbillies or hicks to know that they like chewing tobacco and to drink really cheap beer. Is that prejudice? No, it's post-judice. Right now, of course, I didn't turn around after that and shoot them because they were bad or do something evil to them. It was just making assumptions, stereotypes. And shit, it's the fan, though. Do we have the time? Do we have the ability, right? The safe harbor, discriminatory or discretionary thought? Do we have discretionary thought to go, you know what, I'm not going to prejudge that person, even though they look and act like the last 10 guys that, you know, were murdering people? Well, on a case-by-case situation, we'll all have to judge these things. For the most part, I think I could generally say no. You won't have the discriminatory discretion. You won't have the discriminatory discretion, right? If someone's been murdering, you don't have that choice anymore. You can't take that chance because you're weighing the life of somebody who's like somebody else you don't like, right? And it's going to be a tough decision. There's tough decisions. I know, I am certain there's going to be a lot of shoot first, ask questions later type behavior, right? But, you know, will prejudice, right? Will hatreds manifest themselves and then be projected onto other participants, other actors in Shit It's the Fan, right? Will their hatred project onto this, right? Well, in other words, will the person in Shit It's the Fan have hatred within themselves but see that exact same thing in other people and go, well, that person hates everybody, so they need to kill them, right? That's a prejudice, but it's like some self-imposed one that's going to be projected. Their hatred and their fears. It's going to be a fucking mess. It's going to be a fucking mess. So I've covered some stuff here, right? Pretty dark, pretty desperate, but I think we need to think about these things in depth. Right? I don't want to be surprised or caught off guard. Right? I don't want to go, that was unexpected. I didn't see that coming. Right? When all of human history and all of the human behavior demonstrated throughout all human history has consistencies within it. Has consistencies that we can see through different races and different cultures, different geographic locations, different times. We've seen this sort of thing, so we shouldn't say that was unexpected. Now, seeing actual living zombies that take the heads of other people and attach them to their bodies and run around with 3 or 4 heads, yeah, that would catch me off guard. That would be unexpected. I don't expect to see that, you know. So that one, yeah. But everything else that humans have done in the past, I'm going to expect to see again. Now, in defense of self, I want to end this video on a good note. I don't want to say that everything that happens is negative and everything that happens is bad and everything that happens, while not unexpected, is going to be a surprise. I want to talk about the good things that can happen, and you shouldn't, right? They should be expected here and there. As much as human behavior that's negative or bad or evil is to be expected, good should be expected as well. So the question I have is, will people, right? Will good prevail? Will people with good hearts survive their way through Shit It's the Fan, doing the right thing for the right reasons, not the wrong thing for the right reasons, right? And not the right thing for the wrong reasons, but rather the right thing for the right reasons. Are those type of people, are they going to live? That's a damn fine cigar. I say yes. I do. I have to say yes. I have to have some hope for humanity. Right? Not kumbaya, stupid. Right? Not someone's knocking at the door and open it up without asking who's there. Right? Not stupid good. But intelligent good. But good-hearted all the same. Right? So what I want to do is I want to bring up a couple of personal examples that I have. That people are good. Right? And they will make a difference. You know, I don't want to close the door off on myself and say there's going to be no good you can do, John. You're just going to have to whip everyone's ass and put everyone down and protect yourself. But can good happen? Yes. And so these are my examples. Back when I was a Marine, we had a 4-day weekend. And me and a couple buddies decided we were going to go down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So we left North Carolina, and we headed for South Carolina, which is where Myrtle Beach was. Funny how that works. It's a neat arrangement. Anyways, it was another couple, Lance Corporals and I, and Chris was a white guy, and Encyclopedia was the black guy. Right? We're all Marines. We called him Encyclopedia because he was very smart, and he always, he liked to quote interesting information, and he was really, really intelligent. So we nicknamed him Encyclopedia Jones, right? Because it was funny. And anyways, Encyclopedia and Chris and I, we went down there and we went to meet some girls that came down from Ohio. Their families were vacationing, and we thought it would be a fine idea if we kind of crashed that. And if you've never done that, then you're missing out on life. Ah, yeah. Please forgive me. So, what we do is we meet the girls at an arcade. Got pool tables, arcade machines. And Encyclopedia, he kind of liked one of the girls. She was a white girl. And so he was putting the moves on, right? He was doing what he could to make some headway with her. And a couple locals, rather a good handful of locals, took offense, right, to this black guy and the white girl. But in fact, it was just one of the group. So the guy said, look, I'm going to kick your ass for this, Encyclopedia. And so, you know, it just looked like a fight was inevitable. So we took it outside. And I thought, well, here we go. We're going to get in a fucking big fisticuff. Fucking brawl in the middle of the street. Well, the one guy who took offense to this is a bit of an idiot. I guess that goes without saying. But he thought he was the reincarnation of Aleister Crowley. And he liked Ozzy Osbourne's music, and he liked that song, Mr. Crowley. So obviously this guy was whacked out of his mind on a combination of alcohol and drugs. And this guy was pissing me off really, really bad. And so I was going to kick his ass for Encyclopedia Jones, because Encyclopedia wasn't doing very well. Well, a really big hillbilly from South Carolina came up and got around behind me and picked me up with a big bear hug. And I'm not a small guy. Back then, I wasn't as big as I am now. You know, I just got back from the doctor this morning. John, you weigh 270 pounds, this and that. You know, so I know I'm big. This guy was bigger. And he was big enough to bear hug and pick me up off of the ground. And I thought, fuck, this is the end. Right? I thought it was over. I thought Encyclopedia's going to die, Chris is going to get killed, and I'm going to get fucking mauled to death by this bear. Well, you know, I was struggling to get away, and I could not. I was fucked. And it turns out, totally caught off surprise. This guy was like, don't kill him. You know, he's just a dumbass. This will be over in a minute. And he was a good guy. Yeah, he was a big hillbilly from South Carolina, and he knew his friend was an idiot, but he didn't kill me. He didn't maul me. It was a terrible, horrible situation, but his goodness came out. Right? His love of peace came out. And it was a great lesson for me to learn. Right? All of these people in you know, the South, they're not idiots. They're not bad. Right? Even when they're bad things are happening, they'll do good things, and good decisions will come out of them. They've got good hearts, in other words. And in fact, we got done. We went back inside and continued to have a good time. But the dumbass, he was hauled off by his friends and removed from the situation. But I think it's important to know that good can prevail, good will prevail, and it's going to show itself in odd times and odd places. Right? And that story, that event that occurred, you know, I could have equally ended up in the hospital or dead. But good prevailed. There is good in people, and it's going to show up at odd times. You know, another one is currently and this time I've got a couple stories about good people. I end up talking about shit hitting the fan and civil unrest with people because they just engage in that conversation with me, right? Something will come up and we'll get drawn in and we'll start talking. And people just say, hey, John, shit hits the fan. You're invited to come out to our place, whether it's in the mountains or in the valley, at the lake, whatever. They say, hey, you're invited. I'm like, you don't even fucking know me. How can you hardly know me? Why would you invite me to that? They've just got a good heart. And I like to believe they're a good judge of character, right? I'm the type of guy you would want in a shit it's the fan situation. You want me around. I've got experience and strength and knowledge and all kinds of shit, right? At the same time, it's another example of people with a good heart. Now, will that get them killed? Not necessarily. Right? Just because you're good doesn't mean you're going to get shot or get your ass kicked or fall for some stupid trick. Right? But there's good people out there. Don't be surprised when good things happen. And don't ever lose faith that good things can happen, even in shit hits the fan. Right? People that normally, under normal circumstances, you would be suspicious of or cautious of, when shit hits the fan, they may prove to be of such good character. Right? That they accept you, that they help you. And so don't be surprised if you do similar things as well. That's not to be unexpected of any of us. Right? And another one is the manager of an auto parts store in town. Doesn't really know me from Adam. But he's just taken a fucking shining to me, a liking to me. And he turned out to be a prepper. And I run into these types of characters all the time. They're just good people. They want to extend the hand of friendship, of brotherly love. They want to help. I expect there's going to be a lot of that in shit hits the fan. And I hope that those people survive it and get through it. Right? Because we're going to need people who are good-hearted, that have a positive outlook. I'll talk about the negative all the time, but I didn't want to end this episode, this video, without talking about the goodness that's in people. Sure, there's a lot of hatred and prejudice. There's a lot of religious fervor, and there's going to be people with loss of hope. And there's going to be an awful lot of people who don't have brains now, and they're really not going to have brains when shit hits the fan. They're going to fucking lose it. But there's also good out there. And people are going to do unexpected things. Maybe they'll do things the opposite of what we expect. But at the same time, I want to say expect that to happen. Right? At our darkest hours, at our moments of greatest need, good things can happen. And I pray that they will. Because we're all going to need that sort of thing. Right? We're all going to need that kind of a feeling of moral goodness. Right? Because it can't all. The whole time we're in shit hits the fan, I don't want it to be like the worst scenes in Full Metal Jacket or Platoon. I don't want that. But it's going to happen. At the same time, I don't think that's going to be the only thing that happens. That's why I say at every video, or I should say, Semper Fi, always faithful. It's not just a Marine saying, it's about our faithfulness, our belief in good things, right? Faithful to each other, faithful to goodness. All right. Well, you guys, you have a great day, and I'll talk to you again soon. And don't be surprised that while we get the shit hits the fan, it's not unexpected that we're going to see a greater increase in stupidity. Because that stupidity, that ignorance, that foolhardiness is what has taken us to shit hits the fan, along with things like greed and corruption and just general fuckery. It's all going to happen. It's all going to be there. And we need to be ready for it all and not to be taken by surprise. So you guys, chance favors the prepared mind, right? Is yours. I'll talk to you again soon.